Next up, we have Frank Karnauskas, VP of AMSAT Development, and he will be talking about the AMSAT Youth Initiative. So please welcome Frank.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Thanks for coming out today. And Bob Twiggs, this is going to be your dream speaker here, because if there's any non-technical person here, that would be me. As a kid, my dream was to be an electrical engineer. That career goal was cut short with my first calculus course. So after that, I went into psychology, which was a make-believe science. Okay, so what we've got here is we're going to talk about just an overview of the AMSAT Youth Initiative. And why do we do this? Well, it's the right thing to do. Okay, like Bob said, this is mainly a room full of old guys. Okay, there's a couple exceptions here, but next year we want to fulfill Bob's dreams and have some kids in here, some women in here as well. Okay, and you know, it's important that we realize that this is in the AMSAT bylaws. We're an organization that's devoted to promoting education and engineering excellence and innovation. So what we're going to see here is kind of a marketing approach to this, because that's what I am. I'm a marketing guy. I was a marketing guy before I was retired. So we're going to build on what Alan has been doing with the CubeSat sim, what Chris and Bernsey have done with the Fox-Telem stuff. We're just kind of packaging and putting it out there to help kids just get some exposure to this and some interest in this, and then let them play with the big kids' toys along the way. There's a couple really unique features of this program. Again, me being a non-technical person, we want to overcome a lot of kids' aversion to, oh, electronics, my God, there's no way I could possibly do this. This is really, really scary sounding. Now, if you go into a room full of kids and you say, okay, who here is interested in amateur radio? You know, it's going to be crickets for sure. But if you look at what the kids' hierarchy of needs are, you know, it's a food, a place to sleep, then it's, do my friends like me? Am I popular? How do I get rid of my acne? And then they're concerned about the fourth or fifth thing down on the list is they're concerned about their futures. Okay? They're also concerned about what their world is going to look like in a couple of years. Okay? But mainly they're concerned about their future. What am I going to do with my life? What kind of job do I want? What kind of career I want? Really hot these days are the physical sciences. Okay? So again, you go back to that room full of kids. Instead of saying, who here is interested in amateur radio, say, anybody here interested in climate change? Well, you're going to get some kids raising their hands. What about pollution control? You're going to get some more hands. Anybody interested in a career in broadcasting? You want to be a video DJ on MTV? Okay. Career in the military? Anybody here want to be a truck driver? Yeah, I want to be a truck driver. Well, then you should know about GPS and things like that if you want to become an executive in the transportation industry. There's all kinds of different ways to tap into the interests that kids already have. Okay? So rather than trying to intimidate them with electronics and math and all that kind of stuff, let's first talk to them in things that they can relate to. So our story, our approach is, and when you think about it, it's hard to find something in our modern life that satellites don't play an important role. Okay, so our message to the kids is satellites in space help us improve our lives here on Earth. And you can be part of it, okay? And we're going to show you how you can do that. Now, again, I'm a marketing guy, okay? So the first thing I did when we started thinking about this was we need trade names, okay? So and we also need domain names. Now, the domain name squatters, if you're looking for anything with SAT in it, good luck. Now, stemsat.org is available for $20,000, okay? So it was quite a challenge finding domain names that were appropriate, but also that we could trademark, okay? Because I'll tell you why the trademark is very important in the future in just a little bit. So we were able to, I was kind of amazed that we got kidsat.com and .org. We were able to trademark that with the U.S. Patent Office, and BuzzSat for the older kids. Why BuzzSat? Well, high school kids don't want to be called kids, you know, so we needed some other name. And somebody said, well, why BuzzSat? Well, why Amazon.com? And I think they're doing okay. So it's not really so important what the name is, it's what you do with it. So those are our two entry points there. And to be honest with you, I'm about a year behind where I wanted to be with this right now. We're finally pulling the pin on this and making some of it happen. For the KidSat, we're actually moving that down a couple of years, okay? And BuzzSat, we're putting all of our energy into that right now. Why? Because it's easier to find content for the what do they call it, junior high, okay, and high school kids. To be honest with you, I'm struggling for content for the younger kids, and that's okay because we've got enough to do anyway. We'll eventually get to that. But I did need something for to get onto the KidSat website, and just as a starter to get something going, we're putting coloring book pages on there, okay? And these are simple little, and they follow the same interest paths that we're talking about for the older kids, but just think, so these are pages that the parents can go, you know, download for the kids, and each of these are like little two-panel cartoons, okay? So on the left-hand page, it's satellites help us protect our forests so we can have a picnic with our family, okay? Satellites help maintain the fish population so everybody has enough to eat. You know, it's just these simple little moral plays that tie in why satellites are relevant, and the kids can color. A really unique and fun feature about this is that, you know, one of the things we really need to pay attention to is inclusiveness. We got to get more kids from different backgrounds involved in this. So a really neat feature of this is at the start of this, the parents look at a page and say, my kid looks like this, okay? So now all the cartoons are exactly the same, but depending on whether you think your child looks more Caucasian or black or Asian or Latino, you can pick that, you know, or boy or girl, and you can pick that. So in all of the coloring book pages, the only thing that it differs is some little features on the faces, so it looks like your kid, okay? So this, you know, it's a start. It's very basic, but we're showing that we're making an effort to be an inclusive organization, and this is an easy way to start. Okay, so that's all I'm going to say about the KidSat program right now, because right now we're kind of focused on the older kids. So who's the target audience? And you're not going to hear me use the term STEM or STEAM very often, because when you think of STEM or STEAM, you think of schools right away. This is not a school-based program. This is a community-based program. So we want to make this material available to students grade 5 through 12, parents, homeschool pods, youth group leaders, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, 4-H club, church groups, whatever the case may be, and primary and secondary school teachers, okay? And again, we want to especially make sure that we're addressing the access to the unserved or underserved communities. We want to make sure we're paying attention to that. And aside from it being the right thing to do, this makes funding opportunities a lot more available too. So, I mean, in a lot of grant opportunities there, you need to be very vocal and very obvious about that you are serving everybody, not just the usual mainstay. Now, I kind of tread on dangerous ground here, okay? Because when I say it's a community-based program, it's not a school-based program, and here's where I really stick my neck out. When I say schools are not our friends. They're not our enemies, okay? And we have some glowing examples of outstanding teachers and programs that are doing a great job in our area, but we know they're far and few between. And it's not the teachers so much, it's the school systems. You know, the school boards, they're under tremendous pressure to perform, you know, the budget cuts, all kinds of social issues they're dealing with right now. They're oriented towards, you know, making sure their kids test towards the school. So we're not turning our back on the school. I'm just saying we don't want the school boards or the school systems to stand in our way of succeeding. Okay? But I want to be very clear, we're not turning our backs on the school. So if it isn't a school-based program, how do we get the word out there? Remember, I'm a marketing guy. So our intention is to develop partnerships with local broadcast television stations. There are about 210 or 215 local television markets. That's who we want to partner with, okay? Now, why them? Every television station has a promotional manager or a PR manager, and that person's job is to help that station engage with its community for a legitimate purpose to increase their viewership, okay? So they want ways to further interact and engage with their audience. Everybody has probably seen this, and it usually the front, okay, that does this interaction is their meteorologist. Everybody may have seen this at one point or another where, and it's usually on a Friday, you know, a slow news day, where the meteorologist goes out to the school, does the cyclone and a pop bottle experiment. The cameraman is there showing their weatherman, or weather lady, whatever, engaging with the kids, and they put that on the news and say, see, we're engaging with the community. We're a member of this community. And that's all really good, okay? So what we're doing is giving them another opportunity to engage with their audience, and at the same time, okay, they've got benefits, okay, in terms of, like I said, engaging with the community, and also, you know, when they go for their license renewal, they have to have some stuff in their folder that says, here's why we deserve to have our license renewed. So there's benefits for them to participate in this program. There's benefits for us, okay? Promotion at the local level, technical support, okay? There's engineers at all of these stations. Some of them are even hams. They will provide the cost for the local equipment and the technical support, okay? And this can also serve as a revenue stream for AMSAT. This is not a cost center. This can be a profit center. In no worst case, it is self-sustaining. This is not going to take any resources away from AMSAT in its engineering goals, okay, to fly things. We're going to go about 5 minutes later, okay? You're going to lose about 5 minutes in your break time. Sorry, guys, okay? But I'll be as quickly as I can. So how does this work in reality here? Okay, every TV station has an app, right? And everybody goes to their app, not so much to look at the news maybe, but everybody's looking for, you know, what's the radar look like? I kind of laugh in Tucson, you know, they all have first alert weather. Well, in Tucson, what we have an outbreak of sunshine or something like that? You know, in the north where they have tornadoes and storms, that makes sense, but in Tucson, I don't know. So anyway, here's what a website would look like. You know, their website, and you notice on the bottom there, along with the current temps and the traffic report, there's a little bug there for kids and young adults, okay? So if somebody taps on that, it takes them to an introductory page that talks a little bit about what the KidSat program is, gives them a chance for them to promote their weather personalities, their weather forecasters, why getting good grades in school was important and how that led them to their career in meteorology or whatever. And we start to talk about some of the interest areas that the kids can explore, okay? So that's our interest point at that level there. So there, it just goes on a little deeper, okay? If you choose the climate change or the pollution control or the broadcasting or space exploration or a career in the military, it will then divert them to either the content for the younger kids or for the high school kids. So I'm going to skip that right now. Aside from the broadcast stations, there's additional promotional opportunities through professional organizations and youth organizations, and that, everybody kind of knows what we're talking about there. Okay, so what are the components? What is the content? Okay, online curriculum. We're going to talk about the online software-defined receivers. We have a network of those. What we call the non-orbiting Earth science experiment, and then, as Jonathan was talking about yesterday, educational payloads that can fly on the Fox Plus satellites. Okay, so again, we'll have a series of online courses where it shows how satellites play an important role in all of these different areas. The first one that we're putting out, hopefully before the end of the year or early next year, is one in meteorology. We have a course developed for satellite meteorology. Okay, so it's really kind of cool. Why did we put meteorology at the top of the list? Again, because they use the meteorologist, okay, as kind of their key point to interacting with the community. So that was kind of we wanted to make sure we were addressing the broadcast station's need for some legitimate way for them to go. And I have to mention this really quick. I talked to some of the local meteorologists and said, "Oh God, this is really cool," and then well, okay, it's really cool. And then the light went on, and I said, "Oh, you know who I have to be talking to? I need to be talking to those promotion managers." And that's when the lights went on, and yes, we're ready to go. One station that we're talking to is actually a member, is owned by a broadcasting network that has stations in over 100 markets in the United States. That's half of the TV markets. They're watching this very closely. If this works the way we're hoping it should, we don't have to do the work. They will bring this into their 100-plus stations around the country. That would be a huge win for us, okay? So we have the online curriculum, and these aren't like college-level courses. Just think of like Boy Scout merit badge on steroids, okay? A little bit meatier than that. And then if we've got the kids' interest, they've got some resources that we can refer them to go on further. Okay, a key part of this is a fleet of software-defined radios that are hosted at the television stations. A couple technical issues that we're dealing with there, but they're happy to work with. One is, you wouldn't believe the noise level, from all the computers operating those sites. The hash level is really intimidating. The other thing is network security. The days are gone when they would put a piece of tape on a machine and everything's stored digitally. And remember the old Batman show where the Joker or the Penguin would take over the television station, and they would be broadcasting all these evil messages, and that's a real fear, okay, with broadcast stations today. So, but they will host and maintain the SDRs. They're willing to do that, and it works something like this. You pick the location of your SDR, okay? You enter the date and time that you want to listen to. You pick, now this is not the kind of SDR that you or I are used to, where we can just tune anywhere you want. These are radio buttons, okay? And you can choose the International Space Station, or obviously the NOAA low Earth orbiting polar satellites that give beautiful detailed, camera pictures from space. There's also a button there for the nosy. What's that? Well, you'll learn in a minute. So anyway, and Heimer there has been very gracious enough to help us develop a front end for the tracking. Anyway, you pick your location, you pick your satellite that you want to listen to, and enter that. The program will tell you the dates and times of when you're going to have some passes. So hey, kids are learning a little bit about orbital mechanics, how to do predictions for satellite passes, and then what it can do is turn on, it'll show them the radar thing, picture, and then they can download and record the telemetry or the video image from the satellite, and then they'll be provided with the tools, like the Fox Telem, in order to analyze the data. So they can do all of this virtually, and hopefully this gets them, some of them, and not all of them, we have to be realistic, but some of them are going to say, you know what, I'm going to buy the RTL SDR, plug that into my computer. I'm going to make my tape measure antenna, and we just kind of moves them along. We call that shaping behavior. Okay, so yeah, this is just a feeder program for all the other excellent work that you guys are doing. Okay, the non-orbiting Earth science experiment. Why do we call it that? Because my son, who's a professor up at the University of Colorado in atmospheric and oceanographic science, this was back in the previous White House administration. Don't use the word climate change or you are out on your butt, okay? So now we can say climate change again, but now we kind of like the acronym NOSI, the non-orbiting Earth science experiment. We thought we were going to have to develop a completely new vehicle for this, but actually Alan has done such great work with the CubeSat Sim. We have one of Jonathan's engineers working on the sensors, okay, the climate change variables that'll plug right into the CubeSat simulator. So all we have to do is probably harden that CubeSat Sim so that it can survive those 115-degree days in Tucson or those minus 20-degree days nights in Minneapolis. So this will just be located in proximity to the SDR because the CubeSat Sim outputs the FM. So like I said, all we had to do is have a button on there to tune that SDR into the frequency of the CubeSat Sim, and we've killed two birds with one stone that way, okay? And then finally, again, Jonathan talked yesterday about some of the possible STEM payloads that we can fly on the Fox Plus series. And Will, where are you? There you are. Will, yeah, I misspelled your name on the badge, right?
No, that was correct.
Oh, yours was? Whose name did I misspell? Okay, I'm sorry. I was thinking, oh, God, I misspelled the name on the badge of the guy who's doing the slow scan TV program. I said, oh, that's going to set me behind another year, you know. So, okay, so that's kind of it. Funding, again, ARDC is interested in this. They want some demonstrations done to prove that we can do what we're talking about. We also, we got 100,000 for them, close to 100,000 from them for the 3U space frame and deployable solar panels. So they want to see us do a good job of spending that money first before we go back to them to ask for some more. So, oh, and one other thing is everything is open access. Okay, all the curriculum and that, except if we are given some curriculum from a professional society or something like that, obviously we have to respect their copyright things there. I mentioned why the trade name, the KidSat and the BuzzSat is so important. That obviously is not going to be openly available. We're going to control that very tightly for one very important reason. Whenever you use the words children and online in the same sentence, the most important person in your organization is your child safety officer. Okay? So we're happy to make all the content available to everyone, but they're going to have to use it under their own name. Okay? We want to maintain control over our program so that we make sure, especially as we kind of evolve into the social media aspect, that we're not endangering kids. Okay? So I'm only 5 minutes overdue here. Any quick questions? Otherwise, you can catch me in over the break. Paul?
Yeah, Frank, just one from the live stream here. Peter 2M0SQL mentions that interesting focus on NOAA APT sats, but do you have any concern, of course, that those are not going to be replaced, and when they're gone, there won't be any more APT on 137 megahertz?
Well, I'm 75 years old, and by the time they're dead, I will be too, and I won't care. No, no, seriously, folks, our engineering team needs time to get our educational payloads up into space, so we're just taking advantage of those polar birds right now to serve a need. Good question. Anybody else? I know I'm the last thing standing between you and the restroom. So thanks, everybody, for coming out this morning, and you can catch me for questions later.